Welcome back to San Antonio Living. You don't need a passport to experience Greece in our own backyard. Tarpon Springs is a thriving Greek community on Florida's Gulf Coast, keeping their Greek heritage, culture, and traditions alive. Travel guru Michelle Newman is here to tell us a little bit more. It's good to see you.
It's great being here.
And you're in your Greek blues today.
I am, and I matched Tarpon Springs downtown. All the buildings are blue and white. Just like the Greek islands.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm in Santorini and I haven't even gone anywhere, which is fantastic. Tell us where we find Tarpon Springs.
Tarpon Springs is about 25 miles north of St. Pete, Clearwater.
Okay. And what's the history and the background of this part of Florida?
What's very interesting is the sponge divers were recruited from the Greek islands because they were experts, they had advanced techniques, and they discovered that there was an opportunity for sponge diving in the Florida Gulf Coast region. And Tarpon Springs is the sponge capital of the world.
Oh my gosh. It looks like Greece. It really does.
Well, it's all blue and white, yes.
Yeah.
And you have the sponge docks, you have the sponge exchange, and the sponge exchange is where the divers would bring in their sponges, wash them, and they would auction them off. And then the sponge docks are where the boats would dock and they would go diving. And look at the diver's helmet. That's at the Heritage Museum, where you can learn a lot about the history and background of the Greek immigrants and the Greek community and the sponge divers that settled in Tarpon Springs.
Very interesting.
And look, the street signs are in Greek, and you're going to hear Greek spoken on the streets.
I love that. That's amazing. It is the largest Greek population per capita outside of Greece. That's amazing.
That is correct.
Okay. And it's so beautiful. Tell us a little bit about what we'll see in the downtown area while we're exploring around.
Okay, well, what you just saw, that's the 1910 Inn where I stayed. My friend Annie owns it. You have all of these gorgeous Victorian mansions that surround Spring Bayou, which looks like this enchanting fairy tale lagoon in Tarpon Springs. And you have these gorgeous houses and people go kayaking. And then again, there's the 1910 Inn, which is a Queen Anne style building.
It's very beautiful. Okay, you mentioned the sponge history, sponge capital of the world. Let's talk a little bit more about the whole history surrounding the sponge.
Well, you know, sponges were not artificially made like they are today. So these are natural sponges, and in Tarpon Springs, you're going to find every shape, every size, every variety. I mean, look, they have basket sponges, they have this sponge, that sponge, and you can buy your sponges there, and there's a sponge boat down at the sponge docks.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
And one of the highlights, and there is a sponge diver, and he just came in, and I was able to meet him and chat with him, and he just made a deal, and he sold his sponges. And then what's really fun is you can go on the St. Nicholas boat lines ride with Captain George, and you will see dolphins and manatees, but they have a diving show. And look, he's putting on the old-fashioned copper helmet.
Interesting.
And that gentleman is a real sponge diver, and he will show how you dive for sponges. Now, Captain George also explained how dangerous sponge diving was, and many of the men who went out on those sponge boats would go out for weeks and months at a time. Sometimes they never came back.
Yikes. Okay, interesting history surrounding that. All right, so if I'm in a place and I feel like I'm in Greece, you know what I'm going to want. I'm going to want some Greek food.
Shelley, go on a diet before you go there.
Okay.
Because unlike a French restaurant where they give you these itty-bitty little minute portions, Greek people like to eat, and you're going to get a plate full of food. So I hit some of the really major restaurants there. Elas, I went to Dimitri's, and I went to Mykonos. And here you have the moussaka with a bechamel sauce and an gyro, and the food is out of this world. And you're going to taste flavors that you would not ordinarily find elsewhere. This is authentic Greek food. The recipes are family recipes.
That looks good. Yeah.
The ladies will not share their recipes. I mean, they're very protective of their recipes. Look at the seafood. You have fresh fish that's roasted, and then you have the octopus and the squid and the shrimp with a garlic herb sauce. Oh my gosh, Shelley, the food is out of this world.
Wow. Okay.
And then the flaming cheese, which is a classic traditional.
Looks amazing. Okay, so we've got to eat, but we also have to talk about the community, because this is a very religious community too, right?
Yes. deeply, deeply religious, their lives are really oriented around the church. And you have St. Nicholas, Greek Orthodox Cathedral. But there's also St. Michael Shrine, and I went there, and there's this little old lady, she's a Greek lady in black, Yaya, and I went there twice, and one time I was there, Yaya blessed me.
Fantastic. And look at this. This is like an Orthodox celebration.
Yes.
It's the Epiphany celebration?
Well, this is the blessing of the fleet, and the gentleman you see there is the Archbishop of the Greek Orthodox Church who came from headquarters in New York. This is such a big event, the Epiphany, and he was blessing the fleet to wish them well, and he was using his holy basil sprinkled with holy water, and he was blessing the sponge divers and the people down at the dock. And he blessed me.
Look at that. Fantastic.
I was so happy about that.
What a unique experience. And again, you don't have to go far. You don't have to leave the country because it's right here in the United States in Tarpon Springs, Florida. Fantastic, Michelle. Thanks for coming in this morning. Guys, if you've got questions, if you'd like to know a little bit more about Michelle's travels, she has got a YouTube channel where you can check in with her and see all the places she goes at Culture Vulture 18. Give her a follow. And if you'd like to know more about Tarpon Springs, you can go to tarponsprings.chamber.org.